What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall markets. I'm going to break down what's going on with the economic calendar moving forward and talk about big data that's coming out for today, which you should be watching for as time goes on. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. Anyways, right now the market's holding up very, very well. We're very flat in the pre-market so far. We're holding up at these levels in a very, very good manner. We also held above our 20 EMA on SPY, which is a very, very good sign. So the question is, what's going to come out for today and what's going to affect the markets? I want to talk about some data first before I break down these charts. For today, it is Tuesday, October 1st, 2024. Happy October, everyone. I just want to make it very clear that the market's going to be reacting to some data. At 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the S&P Global Manufacturing PMI reports. This is very minor, might cause some volatility, but the main time for bigger volatility is going to be 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 30 minutes after market open, okay? We have the ISM manufacturing numbers, the JOLTS job openings and job quits, and manufacturing for employment, new orders, and PMI for that sector. So we'll be looking at the manufacturing numbers. How is that sector looking for the economy? And how are the jobs numbers looking as well? It's going to be very, very key for what the market perceives. So get ready for some high volatility at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also have the Dallas Fed Services Index at 10:30, which isn't as important. Then we also have a bunch of Fed speakers like Bostic, Cook, and Collins all giving speeches throughout the day. But the main time for volatility is 10 o'clock a.m., so be ready for a big move. The market thinks that there's about a 35.7% chance we get a 50 basis point cut, about a 64% chance we get a 25 basis point cut. That's what the market's viewing after what Jerome Powell said. Powell said that we shouldn't be too used to 50 basis point cuts all the time. They have to take it meeting by meeting. There's no preset course. They're reacting to data. He mentioned that in case there in case there are contractions, even in employment, the Fed is going to continue to do their job. But he offset that by saying that the economy is strong. He sees inflation continuing to fall. And he continued to say that again and again and again, the economy is strong. And the market liked that. So that's when the market held up very, very nicely. That's why we saw this nice push on SPY and the other stocks out there. Now, with that being said, guys, I didn't see any other major pieces of news. There are a lot of workers going on strike in the East and Gulf Coast ports. This is very important. This is affecting some companies such as like Aapl, but besides that, I didn't see anything else that's too crazy, at least on the news. But that's all I'm saying, at least for the headlines. So now let's talk about what I see for the charts. So it's very simple, guys. If SPY pushes after the data comes out today, we're going to be looking for the all-time high at 575 to be tested. If that breaks, if that breaks, we're looking for 576, then 577. If we're bearish, you want to see SPY basically lose 571.67 to 572, this range right here where our 20 EMA is. If that fails us, we could be dipping back down to 570, then all the way down to 568 we go. Okay, but looking at the PPO, we're building bullish momentum. We got a nice bullish bar right here, which typically leads to more upside. So the odds do favor more upside for all-time highs. Whether or not that happens depends on what kind of reaction we get from the data. Most likely we will push for all-time highs to try to break them, but we'll see just to be safe what the data causes. But so far the charts favor the upwards direction. ES looks more bullish because, like I said before, we're holding our 20 EMA very nicely. You guys can see the EMAs right here. If we lose 5,800, very close to our 20 EMA right here, we could be dipping all the way down to the 5,780 area. If we're bullish and we hold our 20 EMA, we're looking for 58.25 to be tested. If that breaks, we're looking for basically 58.50 as our next resistance area. We're doing a good job at holding up so far, so there's a good chance we try to continue. But look at our 20 EMA as the main support. We could be pushing even higher if that ends up holding. So this is favoring a push for these highs. I think it's very possible we get there for ES. Whether or not it lasts depends on the data, but so far there is a better chance of us trying to push. The market remains more bullish. Nvda is holding it very nicely. I just want to call out that when you look at the charts, we have a bullish structure, so we're actually holding these supports very nicely. We could draw a trend line out to kind of like encompass the support, but I'm not going to do that for now. I just want to say that we're holding up very nicely. If we were to hypothetically lose 121, we look for 119 and 116 as our supports. Those are the three supports right here. And our resistance levels happen to be around these. The 122.8 area, I'll be watching that as the first resistance, followed by the 124.5 area. So if we do get a push with the data, we're looking for 122.8 and 124.5. I favor upside, so I think there's a good chance Nvidia pushes, but then we'll see what the reaction happens to be. For others out there, we have Bitcoin. Bitcoin's looking a little bit weaker compared to the market, so we push very close to our EMAs only to reject. We need to break 64,385 to turn more bullish. If it does not break that, we're at risk of dipping back down to 63,000 flat. So I think that's more likely for Bitcoin's looking a little bit weaker. For others like Tesla, Tesla looks bullish. It's looking bullish because we're forming a very, very nice looking cup. So it looks like a big cup that's forming so far. We could be pushing higher. I think there's a very, very good chance that Tesla tries to get up to about 265 to 270. And just know today's the last day before deliveries. So tomorrow morning deliveries come out. That's going to be very, very important for Tesla. So for now, I think we might push a little bit approaching deliveries. As long as we don't lose 257, we favor upside for 265 or above. I think there's a good chance it continues. For NQ, we have kind of like an interesting structure. We're looking for support at 20,250. We also have 20,000 below that. And then if we hold this, we could try to bounce back up for 20,400. So watch and see if we get this rejection or not. Depends on the data. It could attempt to push a little higher. We are seeing some metrics that show we could push a little bit more to 20,400, but we'll see if we get a rejection or not. There is a possible head and shoulders. Not going to guarantee anything. I was expecting this to push to 20,200 at the least, and that was correct. We did go to the 20,200s. Could go higher, so we'll see. For the QQQ, we look more bullish. If we hold above 486.5, we're looking for 490 as our target. If we lose 486.5, we're looking for 485 and 482 as supports. Overall, the QQQ is holding up very nicely, and it favors the upwards direction for that 490 target, so it favors upside. What is a little complicated for the markets is Apple's kind of dipping with all these strikes that are going on during around the ports. So we have this resistance to watch for at the main resistance is 232. Our support's at 228.93 and then 226.5. We'll be watching these levels very carefully. We'll see if it tries to bounce off any of these. But overall, it's doing a good job at holding up. So watch to see if it dips a bit before it tries to rebound. That's going to be very key for us. I think the IWM is just like range bound. We have 222 as resistance and 218 as our support. We're kind of stuck in the middle. So give this the time that it needs. For Amazon, we're dipping right now. We have 185 as our support. If that fails us, we're looking for basically 182.75. We have resistance around 187 to 188. We could dip a little bit lower. It looks kind of weak to me, but we have to see if we officially lose 184. We're still holding support technically, so it's just very choppy right now. We're just waiting for the direction to pan out. For Meta, we look a little bit more bullish. It could attempt to try to push this imbalance. So it could get very close to about 578 to 580. And we'll see if we get a rejection off that. If we reject, we could return back down to 568. If we don't reject and we break 580, we're looking for 585. We're at a tough resistance on Meta, so we will see if it holds or not. So be careful as we have big data coming out today. Microsoft is fighting at the 20 EMA. If it's 430 breaks, we're looking for 432. If it rejects here, we could be dipping back down to about 426. We will see. We're still fighting the 20 EMA. I'm just waiting for the data release. Google hit 170. If we could break that 172 is technically possible, but be careful because this is a tough resistance. 170 to 172 is tough. If it rejects, it could return to 168 again, if not 165. So there is a chance it might do that. So be careful with some tech stocks out there. So with that being said, I think it's possible the market tries to push higher, but look at some tough resistance. SPY has tough resistance near the all-time high at 575 and also at 576. So be careful if we do try to go higher. It is possible we attempt to push higher, but it depends on this data. So be ready for the jobs numbers. We'll see how they look like. Right now, the market favors upside a bit more, but like I said before, with data, you never know. So just be open-minded and get ready for some high volatility. I thank you all for listening. Please have a great day. I'll be back in a couple of hours for another update. Until then, thank you and peace out.